Hey, I'm Chase, and this is All Things Random. Today, we're looking at the sub $50 automatic high beat Starking. Now, before we hop into the video, hit that subscribe button, leave a comment below of the type of content you guys would like to see on this channel. Let's flip the camera around and open up this box. Now today we are again looking at a Starking watch. This is how it came in the mail from Amazon. So let's unbox this and take a look inside. Comes in a nice cardboard sleeve. Inside is the Starking watch box. Now I have done a review on one Starking in the past and it comes in the exact same box. It is a sort of a wooden box with a cardboard inner shell. Pull it out to expose the watch. Now if you looked at the thumbnail, you'll see that this is a Starking small seconds, and I say that because it really doesn't have a name. It's not like a Starking Prestige or anything like that. It's just, if you search Starking small seconds, this is what you'll find. Now, honestly, when I first saw this watch, I was looking at a budget dress watch because I want to put together a good, solid list of 3 watches under $100, 3 watches under $300, 3 watches under $500, and 3 watches under $1,000. And I thought that when it comes to adolescents or kids going into maybe college or into their first professional job and they don't have a whole lot of money, well, this may be a great option for a dress watch. But is it really? Let's take a look at the watch itself and maybe some dimensions. Now this is a stainless steel case, high polish, and it does measure at 42 millimeters in diameter. It does have a case thickness of 11 millimeters, which is actually quite thin. It does have a lug width of 20 millimeters, which means you can basically put any strap on this. The strap that came with it is this really nice mesh strap, and I'll tell you that it's extremely comfortable and it doesn't make a whole lot of noise when it's on the wrist. Some cheaper watches have a rattle to it, but this is a very thick, very nice mesh strap. The buckle that comes with it, the buckle that comes on it is sort of, I guess, like a safety clasp. It does have Starking. It is brushed. Everything else is high polished except this. This is brushed with Starking as a logo. The way this works is it snaps on the bottom, clicks like such, and then claps over for a nice secure fit. I really like the way this fits. It feels extremely secure on the wrist, I can tell you that. Now inside is a automatic movement. It really doesn't, if you look at Starking really doesn't give a whole lot of information on their automatic movements. But anything that you do look at tells you that their movements are mostly high beat movements. The Starking watch that I have reviewed in the past is said to be a high beat movement, beating at 28,800 beats an hour. This is not decorated, but it does at least have a rotor with the Starking sort of flower insignia, 50 meters of water resistance. So technically you can use this if you want to. If you jump into a pool, you really don't have to worry about it, but mostly hand washing, splashing, rain is fine. It says 25 joules on the back. It is a screw down case back, and again, it does have a display window. Speaking of windows, let's talk about the glass on this watch. It is a synthetic sapphire glass. It does look like it is just a piece of flat sapphire, but at this cost, at $46, $47, you really can't complain when you have a high beat automatic movement with a piece of sapphire glass. In fact, most watches, even micro brands that are several $100s, only have a piece of mineral crystal. So I'm really happy with what Starking offers in their brands. Now this does not have a screw down crown. It is just a standard crown that pushes in, wind it up. It's very easy. Now it is loud when you wind it. I'm sure you can hear it. But you see the second hands there, the small second hand. is beating really smooth. In fact, let's get a closer up view of that. Now you can see that the second hand does sweep relatively smoothly. It does look like a high beat movement beating at 28,800 beats an hour. It does look like it's ticking at about 8 ticks a second. Now, even this closely zoomed in, you can see that there's a lot of detail on the dial that you wouldn't expect from a watch this priced. Most watches that are around $100 to $200 on their dial uses printing only, but you can see that there's some nice grooves in that 60-second track, and you can see that the 60, 15, 30, 45, and even the seconds are not just printed on, they are printed over, but they also look like they're, built into the dial. There's some nice 3D, kind of pop out at you right there. There is that track around the outside. I'm not really sure what that track is. I guess maybe if you want to time 15 seconds, you can see that there are second trackers. To me, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to have that on the dial, but they have it anyway. And you can see that the indices are applied indices, and they're very well done. They're high polished. They match the case. They match the hands, which are sword style hands. Honestly, I think that is a very nice, clean dial. The printing of the Starking Automatic is very clean as well, and it does look like they take great care in what the dial actually looks like. So again, at watches this price point, it's hard to complain if you see like the hands aren't finished as well as some other watches. But again, for under $50 to be a high beat movement, it almost makes you wonder how they do it in applying the indices, in giving it some nice detail and 3D ridges around the dial. Now, a lot of times when it comes to the case being high polished, a lot of times that is the easy way to go. That's a way to cut a corner because you can just high polish the entire thing without much detail. But you know what? The high polishing actually looks relatively good. Even the Starking logo is printed or etched, laser etched on the outside of the crown. Overall, I think the watch is a great deal. Let's put it on the wrist and see what it looks like. Now here the watch is on my 7¼ inch wrist, and I'll tell you what, with the mesh strap, it does have some pretty nice micro adjusting because there's not specific holes or anything else it has to go to, so you can fit this exactly to your wrist. The only complaint I have is that it was a little difficult to close that clasp back up when adjusting the base right here. It was a little hard, but other than that, once you get it adjusted correctly, it fits absolutely perfect and extremely comfortable. Now, what are some of my complaints? Now, a lot of people say that a 42mm watch is slightly too large for most wrists, that a lot of dress watches should be 40mm or under. Some people would say that 39mm is a sweet spot for most people. However, I don't think 42mm is all in all too big. The lug width is not so wide, or the lug to lug is not so wide that it overpowers the wrist. I think that it fits relatively well. Now, even when you move it around, you would think that you would hear some, chinkiness or some feeling of it being extremely cheap. I'll be honest with you, this is a pretty solid watch. I was relatively surprised at just how well built this is and how good it looks. Now, what are some of my complaints when it comes to this watch? Well, I can tell you that it does not feel cheap. I can tell you that it feels like a solid watch. It has sapphire glass. It is a high beat automatic movement. And all in all, the details are there. I thought the strap would feel cheap, but the strap to me feels absolutely solid. The packaging to me doesn't really matter. I'm surprised it came in packaging at all for under $50. It's hard to find a watch the same caliber and same quality as this watch for the price point. I can tell you that it's unclear just how long the watch would last itself, meaning I have no idea if you wore this every single day how long it would last. It may only last a year or 2 years or even 6 months. If you start banging it around, how's the shock resistance of the movement itself? Well, it's hard to really say, but it is a throwaway automatic watch. You wouldn't spend $100 to get this watch repaired when you could buy a brand new one for under $50. Now, this is a good entry-level automatic watch. You could go to a jeweler right now, buy a Bulova for $300, and it's a quartz movement, or you can buy a high-beat automatic Starking for under $50. Applied indices, the printing's great, the detail on the dial's great, the overall aesthetic of the watch looks great, and it's hard to find something that's a better deal than this. Now, I have a lot more videos coming up in the future, so make sure you hit the notification bell, hit that subscribe button. My 1,000 subscriber giveaway will be a Swiss watch, but you got to be a subscriber for that 1,000 subscriber giveaway. So hit that subscribe button, leave a comment down below of the content you guys would like to see. Until next time.